Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Fitness Friday Posi-TIPS with Rachelle. Last time I highlighted the importance of situational analyses and recognizing what opportunities, threats, strengths and weaknesses exist for you and planning accordingly. Next time I look forward to continuing this conversation on the value of competitive analysis by highlighting the power of paying attention and being observant, and certainly sharing a recent one of Rachelle's PF adventures to the Ford Road location in Dearborn, Michigan. So stay tuned for that, folks. But I want to drop in this episode here, this unplanned episode, as it's certainly something that's been circling on the rotisserie of my mind here for about the last week or so. A club in Louisiana, actually, Monroe, Louisiana, has faced a series of challenging events. I'll talk about that at the end, and they certainly apply to safety. And I wanted to cover this right now. I don't want to wait a few weeks or a few months. I want to cover this right now in a whole separate episode. So folks, gym safety. It doesn't matter if you're a gym goer. It doesn't matter if you're a leader in a fitness facility or any type of facility. Unfortunately, we live in a society, we live in a world where crime exists in some areas. Certainly crime is more rampant than others. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter who you are. Crime, unfortunately, is an equal opportunity offender, no pun intended. And so, folks, I wanted to highlight some examples here to certainly shed some light on this issue. And it's so important. And it's certainly our safety, our security is something that we can't take for granted. And so, first off here, I want to kick off Club Industry had an article. And so this article appeared on June 12th, and it's by Thomas Gresham. And so the article title is Nashville Health Club Owner Killed While Overseeing Morning Workout. See, when I read that day, it just really kind of shook me up. Just recognizing, again, it doesn't matter who you are, what your role is. Violence is violence, unfortunately. It says, a health club owner was murdered in his Tennessee fitness facility, and one of his former employees has been charged with the crime. Dominic Michelli, age 36, is alleged to have killed Joel Pavlova, age 46, owner and manager of the Balance Training Fitness Club in Nashville, in an attack on June 4th. Skipping here in the interest of time, Michelli was fired from his job at the club 14 months ago, according to the Tennessean. After multi-state manhunt, Kentucky State Police arrested Michelli on June 5th near Bowling Green, Kentucky. Pavlova was assisting clients with a workout routine when Michelli is alleged to have entered the Balance Training facility and attacked Pavlova with a hatchet and knife, striking him multiple times before running from the scene, according to the police report. Pavlova died while being transported to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. Lastly, according to the Tennessean, Michelli began to work for Pavlova approximately 5 years ago when the Balance Training facility opened. A police spokesman told the paper that Michelli was fired for attempting to poach clients for a facility he was considering opening. Like I said, when I read that particular day, and I actually printed this out because I knew I was going to cover safety at some point, but it just goes to show whether you're a general manager, whether you're an owner, whether you're a corporate facility leader, violence is violence. We'll talk a little bit more about a resource that I recommend at the end. But moving on quickly, I covered this one last year. Last April, I remember talking about this one here on a Fitness Friday. Coral Gables, Florida. It's just a suburb of Miami. I actually lived in Miami. And so this one came on April 10th, 2017, www.cbsnews.com. And so the title of the article is Man Who Shot Killed Two Managers at Equinox Gym Had Just Been Fired. If you'll recall from past Fitness Fridays, Equinox is a very swanky chain. Not very many of them in the country. Membership fees range from about $150 to $250 a month for individual memberships, so high-end club. The man who shot and killed two managers at a Florida gym before turning the gun on himself had just been fired from the Fitness Center for Workplace Violence, police said Sunday. The Miami-Dade Police Department said in a statement that 33-year-old Abiku Wilson of Miami was let go Saturday as a fitness trainer at the Equinox Gym in Coral Gables due to workplace violence and was escorted off the premises. Authorities didn't elaborate on what that violence involves. Shortly after his dismissal, Wilson returned to the gym with a handgun and fired multiple shots at both managers before fatally shooting himself. Witnesses at the gym said he seemed to know exactly where he was going, CBS Miami reports. He didn't go inside of where everyone was training, said a woman who was at the juice bar with her husband. He went to the back door where the staff and manager office are. Police said the managers were deliberately targeted and that the shooting wasn't random. Okay, in this particular instance, it's a corporate chain. it was shut down for 2 days after that happened. But Coral Gables, a very ritzy, upscale, high-end area, and so that happened. I remember when that happened. I remember talking about it on Fitness Friday, just the importance of safety and how things can just literally pop off at any minute. So another one here, May 30th, 2018, this appeared in the New York Post. All right, and the article is by Ben Fairherd and Natalie Musmechi. The founder of an Upper West Side boutique gym was arrested Tuesday on charges of sexually abusing a client at the facility, police said. Ray Wallace, age 40, owner of Fit RXN on West End Avenue at 61st Street, was taken into custody on charges of sex abuse and forcible touching, cops said. He was busted for allegedly grabbing a 30-year-old woman's buttocks and kissing her without permission on October 4th, 2017. He made, going on here in the interest of time, he made an appointment where I was completely alone in the whole building, said the alleged victim who requested anonymity. She said his pattern was to rearrange sessions so he could be alone with women. She and another woman left reviews on Yelp detailing their allegations against Wallace. So New York, private club. In that situation, you had an owner allegedly, sexually assaulting a member. And these type of things, I mean, they're obviously not common, but they do happen. All right, and then so if you substitute in that case that was an owner, you will often hear, particularly with fitness litigation, cases of trainers, sexually harassing their members or their clients, or obviously a member-to-member type situation. But it definitely does happen. All right, next here, moving on to Shreveport, which is actually where my parents live, and so this one actually appeared in 2010. This was years ago, and I remember so well when this happened. But this appeared KTBS, which is a local station.com. So July 25th, 2010. And quickly here, funeral services are scheduled in Baton Rouge on Monday for Kristen Leonard, the nurse killed in Shreveport last week by her suicidal ex-boyfriend, who shot himself as police moved in to arrest him at a stoplight a few miles from the murder scene. Leonard was a victim of domestic violence. Skipping ahead here, in the order, Leonard said, protection order. In the protection order, Leonard said Miyagi had come to her apartment complex asking questions about her, tried to find her at her fitness center, had followed her in his car, had left a note on her car saying she had stolen the cat they got while together, sent disparaging text to her mother, and sent Leonard a text that he wishes I was dead. Skipping on quickly, Shreveport police say Miyagi, age 31, shot Leonard Thursday afternoon as she left Element Fitness Center on Quail Creek Road, then fatally shot himself 8 minutes later as police moved in to arrest him on Kings Highway near Interstate 49. Now, those cases where I've heard these situations where people are shot, fatally wounded, in fitness facilities have certainly been in what I've heard over the years. It's been domestic situations, an estranged partner, ex-spouse, coming to a facility in the parking lot. But this doesn't just happen in fitness facilities. It happens in all types of places where you've got this estranged relationship just going south very quickly. And so I wanted to share that one, another private club there in Louisiana, but I want to conclude with this one, which is actually Planet Fitness. My dad sent me this article, and I know why he sent it to me, because he knows I'm up at the gym, 4-ish, 5-ish in the morning, and he sent it to me. This is a safety reminder, and when I read it, it literally shook me up. So I'm glad he sent it to me, but I just had to. It's been circling on the rotisserie in my mind, but I just wanted to share it with you. Again, whether you're a gym goer, but particularly if you're a fitness facility leader. All right, so Monroe, Louisiana. So this came from KNOE, which is a local station. KNOE, and this was June 22nd, is when this article was posted. All right, KNOE has obtained more details on a suspect accused of targeting victims for rape and robbery at Planet Fitness in Monroe. All right, so on June 6th, so there were two incidences here. June 6th, Monroe police say a female victim was leaving Planet Fitness at 1205 Lammy Lane and encountered the suspect while walking to her car. Newton then allegedly pointed a handgun at her and forced her into her vehicle. All right, and I'm skipping a lot of it just in the interest of time, but it's really upsetting. These stories are always upsetting. All right, June 21st. On June 21st, police say Newton targeted another Planet Fitness customer in Monroe. Police say the victim was going to the gym when the suspect forced her back into her vehicle at gunpoint and drove her to a parking lot on Luberta. All right, so this guy ended up getting charged with first-degree rape, aggravated kidnapping ×2, armed robbery ×2, unauthorized use of an access card, aggravated burglary, and aggravated assault. And so this guy just really wreaked havoc on Monroe, which is about It's about 90 minutes from where my parents live, and so literally like 90 minutes directly east from where my parents are. And certainly when I read about that, I'm thinking just, the poor people, the victims that this happened to, just the members, and how a situation like this at any type of facility, any type of business, any type of workplace, any type of company, when things like that happen, it's going to shake people up. There's always going to be a big fallout. And I was literally thinking, I wanted to see what type of fallout. Like, I know this is having a huge impact. My heart certainly goes out to that franchisee. And so I actually went to the Facebook page and I saw 3 reviews, and this is just a tough situation. And that's why I want to challenge gym leaders, just certainly, and my heart goes out to this franchisee. You got to follow your heart, do what's right by you, what helps you sleep well at night, do right by your members. And I really applaud the franchisee who changed the hours essentially. And so I'm just gonna read 3 of these reviews, and I'm gonna talk more about that. So on June 23rd, so remember, it happened on June 6th and then 21st. So we've got a 1-star review from Callie Montgomery. I've been going to Planet Fitness for over 2 years at 2 a.m. and I love the guys that work overnight and have never felt unsafe. Both have even offered to walk me out at 3:30 a.m. Your answer to the current crime problem in Monroe isn't an answer, it's a cop-out, and it would have been nice to have gotten notification other than showing up this morning to a sign on the door. I'll cancel my membership today and go back to Anytime Fitness. The owner obviously doesn't value the customer enough to have a conversation. Secondly, Laura Cullypepper on June 22nd, 2018, another 1-star review. Discontinuing 24 access in light of recent crime is a knee-jerk, poorly thought out reaction. It's absolutely possible to pay a security guard $15 an hour for a 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift to monitor the parking lot. When you alienate your membership, you let the criminal win. Lastly, 1-star review by Brent Reynolds. And it says, I joined a 24-hour fitness center for the option to go anytime, day or night. You screwed yourselves and the corporation will cancel my membership ASAP. And when I read those, like I said, this is a tough situation regardless of who you are. And I shared with you multiple examples from different types of gyms, different locations. So it can happen anywhere. Crime is crime, violence is violence, unfortunately. And so in this situation, I heard a long time ago, someone said, decisions divide. No matter what you decide to do, there's always going to be people that are happy about it and people that are unhappy. And so I just always challenge you to just follow your heart, do what's right, helps you sleep at night, helps to protect your members, whatever the case may be, because there will always be people that will say, well, I wish you could do this, I wish you could do that, and particularly in that one about the hiring a security guard. But then unfortunately that sends a message when people are coming in for a tour, and people that when having a security guard, particularly outside of a fitness facility or inside of a fitness facility, that sends a very strong message in terms of potential crime, potential violence and problems in a facility. And so then that will hamper and that will hurt membership. And so, you certainly got to respect the opinions of everyone, the members of that club. And I certainly do, but it's just tough no matter what you do. And so I just want to challenge you all. And I actually sent a card to the club and put it to the attention of the general manager, just sending, if he was one of my handwritten cards, I'm a greeting card fanatic, but sent a card just acknowledging, what they had been through, and just mentioned that, I graduated from LSU in Shreveport, and, my parents still live in the area, and my dad had informed me what had happened, and you guys are my thoughts and prayers, and keep the faith, because it's hard. Because you're going to face a lot of criticism for changing your hours, which that particular franchisee felt was the right thing to do. And then there's going to be people that are happy with that decision, people who aren't happy with that decision. But I would argue thinking even from a customer service standpoint, even a marketing standpoint, you're going to have far fewer people upset with that type of change. Far few people will be upset about the change than those who would not join or would leave because nothing was done, or something, if it just, we're going to keep our hours regular the way we have them and just whatever, because then there will be a huge perception that you aren't doing anything to address the problem. So it's just tough, folks. It's just tough. And they have folks who, specialize in security and all of this type of things. And so I just challenge you to really make this an issue, just top of mind for you, if you're a fitness facility leader, franchisee, corporate leader. I know if you're a corporate facility, you actually have policies and procedures outlined of what to do in scenarios when you have, somebody potentially stalking one of your staff members, or harassing another one of your members, or harassing a member of your staff, or threatening a member of your staff. Does your staff know what to do in terms of you're addressing it, moving forward, bringing things to your attention? Because it's just very, very, very tough. So I just challenge you from that end, from a leadership standpoint, but as a gym goer, We just got to recognize, we got to pay attention. And I know when I read that, when my dad sent that to me via email, I read that and I was thinking, this is a good reminder, because it's so often that we take our security for granted and things like that. And that's part of the reason why I'm just observant in general. We'll talk more about that in the next episode, but I'm very observant in gyms. And when I'm working out, I'm always aware of what's going on around me. And that's part of the reason I've had the privilege of being mentored by detectives with the Michigan State Police, a former investigator, OSI, Officer of Special Investigation with the U.S. Air Force, longtime friend of mine, law enforcement right here in Novi. And so I've had some very good coaching, mentoring around the issue of personal safety and things like that. So I want to leave you, conclude this episode by leaving you with a highly recommended book. This is one on my bookshelf. This is another one of Rachelle's reads, folks, but it is so important. I don't care if you're a fitness facility member, potential member, or if you're just a staff member at the club, but also if you're a general manager, and so just franchisee, corporate leader, this book is fantastic. And Gavin DeBecker, you can Google him, you can Google this book, world renowned in regard to safety. I mean, he deals with celebrities in terms of, people stalking celebrities, people making threats at their companies and then coming back and killing multiple people. Because one thing that this book, certainly one of the major premises of this book, is that people don't just snap. There's a series of predictive steps that people take when they move forward towards violence. And the actual title of the article is The Gift of Fear, Survival Signals That Protect Us from Violence. And for those of you in fitness facility leaders, recognize there's a whole chapter in here on occupational hazards where he talks about, and of course this applies to various industries, not just the fitness industry, but he talks about people, when you hire people, again, the person that comes back and ends up killing the manager, like it happened in Equinox, the fitness training manager and the general manager, in those type of situations. But it talks about when you hire folks and when you have folks working for you, how to recognize when somebody has some of these traits and behaviors that you can identify to say, this could be a potential problem here moving forward. Or you have a member that's really just making threats and things like that. He's able, with scientific, pretty high degree of accuracy, can predict when people will move and escalate, when things will escalate to the next level, and people will be injured or murdered or harmed in some way. And so I highly recommend this book with folks. Recognize I'm taking time for this particular episode, dropping this in because this is such an important topic, and I want you to be safe regardless of what your role is. Fitness facility staff members, leaders, you are very important. You are so important. You are so treasured, particularly those that are working overnight shifts. Folks, if you're in those situations, if you're a franchisee and you're in that situation, certainly corporate leaders, got to recognize, value those people, but also protect those people, because these were situations of Planet Fitness that happened outside of the gym, but you clearly had somebody targeting those members, but there are situations that happen inside the gym. So just really think about your policies and procedures in terms of protecting your people, especially in those overnight hours when it's just inherently vulnerable, having possibly just one person working by themselves. And so just really, really, really take this thing seriously, because I know I certainly am. And I'm taking time out of this series to really, really to bring this point home. If you're a gym goer, be safe. Be aware of your surroundings. If something seems sketchy, and he talks about this in the book, the gift of your intuition. Your fear, that it's intuition behind that, and it's a gift. It's alerting you. When someone doesn't feel right, when something doesn't feel right, we all got to listen to our inner, or nudging, or the intuition, folks. But just be safe. We're all valuable human beings, and I just want you to be safe regardless of where you are, regardless of who you are. You are important. You have life. Your life has merit, has worth. You are certainly important to the fitness industry. Regardless of what your role is, it's important. And so, folks, I just wanted to leave this with you here today. Be safe, regardless of who you are, where you are, what your role is. Be safe. All right? So until next time, I look forward to moving forward back in the conversation regarding the value of competitive analysis. Thanks so much for your time. Make it a wonderfully fit day.